I'm still working on my series of botanical and zoological illustration studies, each one a step in my journey to learn more about the diversity of life on our planet. These studies are both drawing practice and a way for me to build a rich visual library that I can later draw upon for my creative projects or world-building projects. By exploring different species, I gain not only a better understanding of their morphology, structure, and unique adaptations, but also a sense of their place in ecosystems and their cultural significance to people throughout history. Each page I create is like a field note, not really scientific and not really artistic, since I do these studies looking at information and pictures on Wikipedia, but it's still becoming something personal for me. This process has taught me to look closer, observe details I would otherwise miss, and appreciate the incredible variety of forms and functions in nature. And in this page, I'm focusing on 4 different species of megapodes. They are a group of ground-dwelling birds known for their unusual nesting behavior. Unlike most birds, megapodes do not incubate their eggs with body heat. Instead, they use external heat sources such as decomposing vegetation, sun-warmed sand, or even volcanic soil to keep their nests warm. Their name comes from the Greek words meaning large foot, and their strong clawed feet are well suited for digging and construction these incubation mounds. Megapodes are found mainly in Australasia, Southeast Asia, and Pacific Islands, and their chicks hatch fully feathered, able to run and forage almost immediately without parental care. This first one that I'm drawing here is the orange-footed scrubfowl. It is a medium-sized megapode found across northern Australia, New Guinea, and nearby islands. It is easily recognized by its striking orange legs and feet, which it uses to tirelessly build and maintain large incubation mounds made of soil and decomposing plants material. Adults are mostly dark gray-brown with a slight crest and a short tail, and I like the colors and the structure with the crest, so I chose to study this bird first. Then I made a study of the Moluccan Megapode. It is found in the northern and central Moluccan islands of Indonesia. It is unique among megapodes for its mass nesting behavior, where hundreds or even thousands of individuals gather at traditional nesting sites on sandy beaches. These birds rely on the natural heat of the sun or volcanic activity to incubate their eggs, burying them deep in the sand rather than building the large mounds typical of many other megapodes. Adults are relatively secretive, with a gray-brown plumage that blends into their forest habitats, while their nesting beaches become a hub of life and activity during the breeding season. I also try to look at species from a storytelling perspective. For example, this Moluccan megapode can offer many creative possibilities. We can imagine a culture or community that reveres these birds for their mysterious ancient gathering rituals, treating the nesting sites as sacred places of renewal and continuity. The idea of a species that entrusts its future to the heat of the earth or the sun could inspire myths about fire spirits, underground warmth, or even the soul's journey from darkness to light. Their mass nesting events could serve as a dramatic backdrop for seasonal ceremonies, migrations, or conflicts over these rare breeding grounds. Because the chicks hatch fully developed and fend for themselves immediately, they can symbolize resilience, independence, or even a rite of passage in a fictional society. These natural behaviors can enrich a world-building project, weaving real ecological patterns into cultural, spiritual, or even magical traditions. My third study is the Maleo, and it is a bird endemic to Sulawesi, Indonesia. and it is one of the most visually distinct members of the Megapode family. Actually, by just looking at their appearance, I would never have guessed that all these birds belong to the same family. Their forms vary so widely, from the sleek casque-headed Maleo to the robust orange-footed Scrubfowl and the more subtly patterned Moluccan Megapode, that they almost feel like distant relatives from entirely different avian lineages. This diversity is something I find truly intriguing as I continue these studies. Each species carries its own set of traits shaped by its environment and habits, yet they share a common lineage that ties them together in unexpected ways. This is why I enjoy creating these illustrations so much. They reveal the hidden relationships in nature that are not always visible at first glance. But Maleo's appearance is instantly memorable. A black back and wings contrasting with a pinkish buff belly, a bare yellow facial skin, and a prominent dark casque on its head that gives it an almost prehistoric look. From a visual design perspective, the Maleo offers a wealth of inspiration. The casque could inspire helmets, headpieces, or architectural motifs in a culture that mimics these birds. Its sharp color contrasts, dark upper body, pale underbelly, and bright facial accents provide a ready-made palette for textiles, heraldry, or even creature design. The bird's nesting behavior, where eggs are hidden and left to the earth, might inspire a visual language of buried treasures, sacred mounds, or geothermal hatcheries. Anyone interested in visual design can draw from the sleek, almost raptor-like silhouette, merging elegance with an ancient, primitive feel. In a world-building or fantasy context, a Maleo-inspired species might become a symbol of earthborn strength or even volcanic power, emerging from the heated ground, fully formed like a living ember of the island's restless energy. So, the last species I chose to study from the Megapode family is the Australian Brushturkey. It is actually one of the more well-known members of the Megapode family. It is commonly found along the eastern coast of Australia. It is easily recognized by its dark plumage, bright red head, and the striking yellow or orange wattle that varies in size depending on the season. Its strong legs and large claws are perfectly adapted for raking and building the enormous nesting mounds it is famous for. Structures that can exceed a meter in height and several meters across. The Brushturkey's rugged, almost prehistoric appearance can be a source of inspiration for creature design. Its bare, vibrant head could inspire the look of a tropical forest spirit or a scavenger-like bird species, while its mound-building behavior offers narrative potential for stories involving symbiotic relationships with forest ecosystems or ancient cultures that believe in such birds as keepers of the Earth's warmth. So with each species I draw, I want to add another layer to how I see the natural world, not just as isolated creatures, but as parts of a larger intricate web of forms, behaviors, and stories. That is why I'm doing these studies and taking these notes about how they can also inspire me later on for different types of projects. This was a good example. Looking at these megapodes, they have diverse appearances and they have unusual nesting habits, and going beyond first impressions by spending time with each one, sketching, researching, and then reflecting my thoughts like this. I really hope these will be helpful. These studies are not about perfect accuracy, but about training my eye to notice the details that make each species distinct. I hope to continue learning about new species, so see you in the next study.